So as we do, as we know the ritual, we're going to scroll, and feel free to stop. This is a sequel to Better Call Saul, known as Skinny Pete and Friends, focusing on Skinny Pete and Badger, and a little bit on James McGill and a woman named Kim Wexler, his partner, also a proficient lawyer. Okay, here we go. Okay, let's get into it. This is going to be page 4, on top of Mount Sandia. Interior, Sandia Peak Tramway. Excuse the pronunciation, Albuquerque. Cloudy morning, sunrise. Rain mists over the thick silver and gold-lit cables. We're going to go again. Rain mist over the thick silver and gold-lit cables holding the tram. Kim Wexler stands and looks through the tram window at the passing mountain below. Skinny Pete and Badger stand near the back rear of the tram, thumbing on their iPhone Pros. They are the only people on the tram. Skinny Pete: looks like rain. Close up, Kim Wexler. She looks out at the front window of the tram. The tram tilts and swings as it passes a large, thick metal pole and tinted J-cut. Waitress: anything to drink? Cut 2. Interior, 10-3 restaurant. That raining morning, sunrise over Albuquerque. Rain falls. Kim Wexler walks in with the Skinny Pete and Badger. The adult, boyish businessmen head off to the restroom. Kim Wexler buttons the top button of her gray business suit. She walks over to Jimmy, who sits alone at a back table near the large window overlooking Albuquerque. Jimmy holds his handkerchief to his nose. Jimmy now sits alone, looking at the city lights of Albuquerque flickering through the sunrise. Some lights turning off and other remain on. Okay, we're going to go ahead and hit that plural for the English majors. His eyes are a bit watery, but not tears yet. Kim approaches. It begins raining harder outside. Silver thick drops of rain fall down the window. A golden sunburst splits through the window, blinding the room. Misty raindrops pelt the window. The sunburst begins to blind Jimmy. He looks away. Jimmy raises his embroidered handkerchief, revealing the CM. Jim takes his glasses off and covers his eyes with the hanky, resting his tired vision. His face drops in his hands. The sun hides behind a passing cloud, lining it with silver. Jimmy lowers his hands and his face drops again, and he looks down and sadly at the menu. Mist forms over the mountain as Kim draws nearer. Kim slowly sits across the very exhausting Jimmy McGill at the back table. Years of prison have hardened his shoulders and poles and posture. He doesn't slump or hesitate in correct behavior now. Jimmy currently sits reformed and stiff. Kim is sitting across from James Morgan McGill, once known as Slippin' Jimmy, and remembered as Jimmy McGill Saul Goodman. Mosaic music plays from the above speakers and hums lightly through the room and underneath everything, and is barely listenable. Static and the muted music continues through the overhead speakers and under every conversation in the restaurant. Only a few dine this morning, scattered throughout the large room and the fireplace like forgotten weeds, and the spirit of the place is nearly snuffed out like the fire on the ashen burnt wood. Kim stares at Jimmy. Hey, stranger. Jimmy McGill. Long time no see. You look tired. Prison does this. Prison is rough. My appeals worked. Yes, it did. Rain out this morning. Waitress approaches, wiping her hands on her apron. The rain has increased into a storm, thunder and lightning. Anything to drink? Jimmy McGill. 7-Up. Goodness gracious out there, raining cats and dogs. Kim. I'm fine. Thank you. Waitress. We only have Sprite. A single tear falls from Jimmy's cheekbone. Sprite. The waitress nods. Sprite. You okay, sir? Fine. Thank you. Sprite's okay. Waitress. Sprite then. And water for you, ma'am? With lime, thank you. Kim holds Jimmy's hand. Jimmy looks away from the rain-filled window and Albuquerque and the rainstorm and the lightning and the strong wind eagerly shaking the windows. Kim Wexler. You're free now, Jimmy. Jimmy McGill. Jimmy McGill. I know I'm free. Sometimes when I write something, I find it in the process and the labor of writing it. And obviously the storm kind of represents Jimmy McGill, known as Slippin' Jimmy. The storm within that maybe he went through during prison. And yet here, the love of his life, the jewel of his life, Kim Wexler, shows up to see him. And like professional like they are, even when they were lovers, they were still professional. And she sits across from him to look at him and is serious and doesn't know what to think. The two, which is the leads, it's going to be Skinny Pete and Badger. They're heading off to the bathroom at this moment to let this moment happen. They will return to the table in the next scene where James McGill will begin to talk to them, and Kim Wexler will inform kind of Slippin' Jimmy or James McGill that they are on their way to becoming these like YouTube stars because they're leaving the CBD business and everybody's going legit. This is about James McGill finding redemption and finding an honest, true life. But he's going to help the boys. Well, they're men. They're businessmen now. He's going to help Skinny Pete, now a man, and Badger succeed in this new business. And he's going to team up with Wexler to do it. And they're going to drop everything and get behind Skinny Pete and Badger and reforming them in a way. And so Kim has kind of learned now that it's time to go in the straight and narrow. I think I mentioned that somewhere in the script at the beginning, the first scene. I think I say it somewhere. I may have said it. I may have said it in the treatment. So it's about them finding the straight and narrow and then helping the boys find fame and a legit business on YouTube. Their CBD stuff is how they get all their equipment and the electric Porsche and everything. They have left the meth dealing behind, so they've already gone to like a less criminal life already, and they're already in New York. They're doing fine with CBD. They sell it globally, online. And they even want to leave that behind, and everyone wants to find redemption. That's kind of what it's about. That's what I'm writing. So, all right, good night, good luck. And the next scene is Linda dancing around at Main Street. I guess it's Main Event. Main Event.